Tell you what, man.
And that's totally
that.
true. I mean, like, if you looked at Alameda's portfolio, and I looked at it and I said, why haven't I not invested in any of the DeFi protocols? And it's 100%. All those protocols that Alameda invested in was fake DeFi. It was as simple as that. They were bullshit projects that did nothing, but pretty much still uses funds. Maybe there were one or two that did something, but most of them were fake DeFi projects that were promoting themselves as real DeFi projects. If you look at real DeFi projects like Uniswap, as an example, you don't see them getting an Alameda, VC investment.
So I'll just tell you guys really quick what real DeFi is. It's really extremely short. There's no admin keys, which means the contract is permanent. You can't change anything. When you wanted to upgrade from Uniswap V1 to V2, you needed to move your liquidity. They didn't have an admin key to do it for you. When you wanted to upgrade from V2 to V3, you needed to move your liquidity. There was no admin key to do it for you, which decentralized the security. It made it so that no individual could have pointed everyone's liquidity at some evil thing. That's a better design process. In Hex, we don't ever ask for permission for anything. So a lot of these contracts, including Uniswap, get you to approve the contract spending all your money. And if there's a proxy hidden in the contract...
Honestly, Richard, I understand you want to promote Hex, but
No, I'm not. I'm telling you about...
This is not the time to use...
I'm not promoting Hex. I'm telling you about superior, trustless, risk-free design processes.
But Richard, we've
telling you
so many times.
You're not... No. I understand more about smart contracts than you, and I'm telling you something important. You're not listening. You're not listening.
I'll let you finish that point, Richard.
I'm telling you that it's dangerous to approve a contract to spend all your money because they can upgrade the contract with a proxy, but you're not listening. I'm telling you how to do DeFi safer.
Make sure guys, let me give Mary. Mary's been the only one putting her hand up and waiting. Mary, appreciate your patience. The mic is yours.
Hey, thanks so much for letting me speak. And yeah, I had my hand up for quite some time. Yeah, there's a lot of measuring going on here, and I just wanted to say this. Everybody has a different delivery. Richard, I had not heard about you, who you were before, and I may not be a fan of your delivery while people are hurting after having lost their life savings, Richard. And I actually have been in a space where I heard someone who wanted to take their life, and we literally saved them. So I can appreciate where you're coming from, right? But I'm smart enough to recognize that what you're saying is really good advice for people in this space. And I'm learning every single day, and I'm looking for people, that, and I think a lot of people that are in this room are listening because they're learning. And this is a great panel that's up here. Mario, I applaud you, Kim, for putting this together because we're all learning in this space.
Mary, sorry. That's exactly why I invited Richard here. Yep. You can think whatever you want about him. He's flashy, he's loud, but he's told people for years, don't put your money in exchanges. And if people would have listened to him, they wouldn't now have to deal with this drama.
And it's more than exchanges, guys. We lost billions of dollars to bridges as well because bridges are obfuscated counterparty risk. And
I've got a nice topic. I'm gonna mention something that someone tweeted. I'm going through the comments from the audience. Can we please talk about how useless crypto auditing companies are with such big damage? How the fuck they didn't notice the big hole? Why are they called auditors for? Who can retail trust? So, and we brought that up, Chet, you brought that up as well, that the same auditors that work with FTX also work with other exchanges that we mentioned yesterday. Maybe that's a good, we could bring up the systematic risk.
Hey, Mario, if I can finish my thought on Richard.
Just a second, please. Yeah. That's what I just wanted to say, Mary. I interrupted you. I'm sorry, and now it's back to you.
No. I totally appreciate that, and thank you so much for letting me speak up here again. And again, Richard, I really, again, your delivery is a little off, but I followed you now because what you're saying makes so much sense. So those things that you were saying is, one, don't short crypto. Two, don't put money on exchanges. Three, learn how to self-custody your coins. I think we all agree on that. And four, never use margin or leverage to trade. So I think you sound amazing, and you're smart and are very intelligent. And I just wish you could work on your delivery a little bit. as I do think that there are a lot of people that could benefit from the truth that you're speaking out there. It's just your delivery is just kind of harsh a little bit, but I did follow you and I am going to listen to you because I like hearing people that have different opinions on things. That's how we all learn. So I do appreciate you, but there are people that are hurting out there, Richard. So I did follow you.
Just on the crypto auditing. So this, I'm not going to mention the name, but it is the top crypto auditor in the space, and a project I was helping build for them got audited by them. I said, let me check the code. I checked the code, found a bug in the code, and if they didn't pick up this bug that was in the code. And it was a simple fact that basically a hacker could come in and make fundamental changes to the code, effectively using balance changes, which the auditors didn't pick up. And luckily, I managed to pick up, and this is not the only instance of this happening where auditors haven't picked something up and something's been hacked. And I can attest to the fact that crypto auditors charge lucrative fees and don't give you the necessarily value add you get. Why do we need crypto auditors? You don't see like a lot of these big DeFi, the real DeFi protocols getting audited. And the reason being is because they're proper DeFi. They don't need ridiculous SEX listings. SEX would end up listening because they have a great product. A lot of these, centralized exchanges need an audit to satisfy their requirements, which a lot of the time is just rubbish. And kind of lastly, Richard, on a lighter note, I'm not sure if you saw the video of the dev where he says how much you actually suck. I think it's quite lighthearted.
I don't think
I think I suck a lot.
About the exchange earlier about auditing. I think auditing does its purpose and its intention at the front end, right? The issue where all these fucking companies keep getting screwed over is when they start working on bridging their assets over to other chains, as well as to other EVM like all the rugs and all the crazy shit that's happening, in my opinion, is not an audit problem, it's a bridging problem. Like they're easy to exploit, and nobody solved that yet. I think bridges, at least on the DeFi side, is where everyone keeps getting fucked.
So the way to reduce your bridge risk is the same way that you should be reducing your transactional risk. And I've never heard anyone else talk about it, but it's such the easiest thing ever. So let's say you want to trade with someone that you don't trust. What you do is you just trade a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit. And they can only screw you for the last trade. So if, for instance, you want a fiat on-ramp to crypto, you send a little bit to the exchange. You take your crypto out. You send a little bit more. You take your crypto out. You send a little bit more. You take your crypto out. They can only screw you for the last cent. And the same way works with selling. You want to sell your crypto? Send them a little bit, sell it. Send them a little bit, sell it. You might 10x your transaction fees, but you also 10x less your risk. That's a really good deal.
Because a lot of the people, like the last guy's comment, they'll be like, oh, well, they're audited by Certec or whatever, right? Okay, cool. That doesn't mean that's just like a basic. Like,
I think every scam has been audited by Certec, though.
No, but I'm saying that's like a baseline. I'd say that's a baseline. That's like jump start, like starting the car, man. Like that's not driving the car. Like you can't blame the auditing process. That's just like step one.
People, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Oh, it doesn't say that it shows. But anyway, the thing is, people don't even read the audits. So a lot of time, the audit, when you...
Someone's calling you, I think, Richard, so it keeps dropping out. He's got to hang up on them. Can you hear me?
I was going to say, so if your audit, I hear you now. The audit will say this contract sucks because a proxy can change all the code. And then people don't read the audit. Or it'll say that, it can infinitely mint if an admin wants it to, and people just don't read the audit. Having an audit isn't the same as reading the results of the audit and seeing if the team actually fixed the stuff. So just there's no such thing as, quote, an audit. You actually have to read the results.
Piotr, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Richard, I've got a question for you. But first, seriously, man, like, I get it. You've succeeded a lot. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. But as my father says, it's trying to measure whose arse is wider. It's a completely pointless competition, and you undermine your own argument by the delivery. So I really encourage you to say what you're saying. I'm a novice in this space, and I've been listening and appreciate what you're saying. But you really do alienate, I think, a lot of people through your delivery. So I highly ask if you can just be slightly little bit more aware of the people who have taken their lives, including a couple of people I know personally, have been on the very verge of that. So without being too heavy-handed, my question is just, you're bringing in a lot of very useful information, a lot of very timely stuff for a lot of listeners who are in very vulnerable positions. I want to hear your perspective on the regulation front and where we go from here. What's next steps? How do we, apart